Isabella's face began to transform. The pampered, porcelain mask of a socialite started to crack. "Julian, what is happening?" she hissed, her voice rising in pitch. "The Maldives. We have the sunset dinner at the underwater restaurant. I already posted the countdown." She tried to use her own card to pay for the fuel, a card backed by her family's trust. Declined. She tried her secondary visa. Declined. She tried to log into her banking app, only to find the message, "Access denied. Please contact your legal representative." While they were melting down on the tarmac, I was sitting in the back of a modest Uber, miles away from the wedding venue. Leo was beside me, staring out the window at the passing streetlights. He looked like a man who had just been handed a life sentence, unaware that I had actually just handed him a key to a freedom he never thought he'd have. I watched the notifications on my phone, the silent pings from the auditor. Julian had tried to call his CFO. The CFO didn't pick up because the CFO had been served with a subpoena 20 minutes ago. Julian tried to call his lawyer. The lawyer's firm had just been informed that their retainer was being contested as fraudulent transfer. The true beauty of the plan wasn't just the money. It was the displacement. Julian and Isabella had sold their respective apartments 3 weeks prior, intending to move into my father's sprawling estate, the Sterling Vane Manor, the moment they returned from their honeymoon. They had already sent their personal belongings to a high-end storage facility. But guess what? The storage facility's contract was tied to the same frozen corporate account. By 2 a.m., they weren't just broke, they were literally locked out of their lives. They had the clothes on their backs, tuxedos and silk dresses, and no place to go. "Elena." Leo finally spoke. His voice was small. "Why did you do it? I know you hate Julian. But why marry me? You could have just run away." I looked at Leo, and for a second, I felt a flicker of pity. If I had run, Julian would have hunted me down using the law. But by marrying you, Leo, I became the law in this family. I didn't marry you to be your wife. I married you to be your guardian. I didn't tell him the rest yet, that his own sister, Isabella, had been the one to suggest Julian dispose of me by forcing this marriage. Leo was a victim of his own family's greed, and while I was using him, I was also the only person who was ever going to give him a fair shake. Back at the